This is Joanne Pacina with Aristopedia, and we're here today to present to you TPA and 401k Advisor Business Development Plan with Chris Barlow from KnowHow 401k. My name again is Joanne Pacina. I'm going to be your host and facilitator today. Chuck Gouge was unable to join. As mentioned, your presenter is going to be Chris Barlow. Pardon me. Chris is the founder and managing director of KnowHow 401k. KnowHow 401k partners with select third-party administration firms to help increase the number of effective 401k advisors that they work with in the industry. Chris is active in the group retirement marketplace and has been for over 35 years, working as an advisor, a sales trainer, wholesaler, national sales manager, and strategic director within some of the top financial services firms. Chris is also co-author of 2 books for advisors. One book is The 401k Sales Companion. The second book is How to Build a Successful 401k Retirement Plan Advisory Business. And he also produces an online 401k Sales Champion workshop. You will definitely get to feel a sense for Chris as he partners with third-party administration firms to help grow their businesses and relationships and with sales advisors, with the discussion that we have today, which is entitled Developing Relationships with 401k Advisors. Just a few comments during the webinar. All attendees, of course, have your lines muted. We do have a question board icon on your GoToWebinar dashboard. So if you do have questions, please feel free to put those in, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can during the webinar. Chris also has up on the on the slides there his email address and phone number for any follow-ups, and we also will have the recording and also the slides listed on our website at aristopedia.com under webcast, so you're free to go there at any time and review this information. So again, we're very happy that you joined us today, and with that, Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Joanne, and I want to thank all the good folks at Aristopedia for producing the webcast today, and I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day to join us. It's outstanding, and I very much appreciate your interest. I have developed what I consider to be my perfect job, and what I do is I work with advisors nationwide throughout the day that are either launching, growing, or improving their 401k business. And I absolutely encourage them to work with their local third-party administration firm and to form a partnership with them. And as we go through to today's brief webcast, I hope you get a sense as to why I go about trying to unite advisors with third-party administration firms and how I go about actually empowering third-party administration firms to attract advisors to them. As Joanne said, I've been very fortunate to be in the retirement plan marketplace for such a long time. I like writing about the marketplace. I'll be publishing an article soon about the 40th anniversary of the 1978 Act that put in place Internal Revenue Code Section 401k soon, and that's 40 years. So 35 years in financial sales. I remember when the Dow Jones Industrial Average was 800, and you know, we were just every 401k plan we did was a startup. Basically, we'd roll a profit-sharing plan in, but they were all brand new plans, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful career. And I know many of you on this webcast have similar lengths of careers and have just been astounded by the growth. What I've been reminded of, though, throughout those 35 years, from the perspective of a financial advisor, is you can't do this alone. You have to have great partners, and your responsibility as the financial advisor is very specific to the plan sponsor, the plan participants, and the roles of your sponsors are as specific in their respective disciplines. So just a brief introduction, but I really, of course, will be spending the majority of time talking to you and providing to you a tool that you can use with your top advisors to strengthen relationships with them and help promote your ongoing joint business with them. And I always struggle to find the perfect picture, for what it is I'm trying to explain. I absolutely believe third-party administrators and 401k advisors are natural partners. You have a single focus to serve the employer, and you each deliver your respective expertise of the plan. You operate very much like the fine works of a clock. Business development plan is an opportunity for you and for your top advisor to get to know each other better. And it's interesting. I kind of briefly stated, what I do every day is I do work with advisors one-on-one. And the primary project that we work together on is their business plan. And it's a great experience for me. I hope it's as rewarding for advisors. And it helps them to develop and to take ownership in the guiding document that will help them to achieve their goals. And it's wonderful to not only help them to define this guiding document, but then to stay in touch with them as their accountability coach. And so what I'm going to talk to you about today is a very similar process in how you can develop this joint development plan with your top advisors, the same type of process that I go through every day with advisors in helping them to develop their overall business plan. I know this process works large part because I pull from the advisor their feelings and their attitudes and their processes, and you know what? They love having people listen to them and help them to get better and to grow their business. So it really is a way for you to strengthen a relationship with your advisor when you try to help each other to learn each other's business a little bit better. And so both in my business plan development process that I work with advisors, as well as this paper, if you will, that I want you all to have and to use as you see fit. It's a Q&A type of back and forth that I want you to execute with your top advisors. I keep saying the word top advisors because these are those 3 or 4 advisors that you really count on year in and year out to help you to achieve your sales goals. Or those advisors you'd like to have a stronger relationship with in order to exceed your sales goals out there. This isn't something, you don't have that much time. This isn't something that you can take to the masses out there, although I think it's wonderful type of thing, but really to focus in on those few top advisors, right? And so I'm going to go through the questions here, and as Joanne said, if there's any question that you have as I progress through this presentation, feel free to type away. We'll take them at the end here. The first category of questions, and remember, you're both going to ask each other these questions. It's the end result of this conversation will be a greater strengthening of the relationship that you have. So your history advising, what did you do before becoming a financial advisor? How many years have you been serving 401k plans? Tell me the history of your firm. I want the advisor to hear from you answers to these questions as well. The better your advisor partners understand your story, the better they're going to be able to represent you and vice versa in the marketplace to plan sponsors out there. Value statement. I know that plenty of you all out there have spent time developing your value statement, and certainly advisors are offered value statement assistance from plenty of firms, DCIO firms and others out there. Pick your favorite value statement. When I work with an advisor in their business plan, I take them through 25 some odd questions to help them to actually craft, customize their value statement to them. And I hope you've done a similar exercise for your firm. But these are some of the questions that I want answered that I thought would be appropriate for you to pose and your advisor, top advisors, to pose to you. You know, what is it about you, your organization, that you want plan sponsors to know about your business? What's your unfair advantage? How are you different? When it's all over, what do you want your firm to be known for? What would your current clients say about you and your firm? When you're at a social event, tapped on the shoulder, and you're asked, what do you do for a living? What's your response? And what do your plan sponsor clients expect from you? The next is, let's describe, you know, the plans that we work best with, that we want to be everything to. What is the description of your target? The advisor poses to you as well as you pose to the advisors. Any other characteristics? A lot of advisors will put in there, you know, I really want to work with employers that want the best for their employees. I need that conducive environment in order to bring my great skills to bear out there. I like this next section, the referral network. Let's see what kind of cross-pollination. What other CPAs are you working with? Attorneys, property and casualty agents, plan audit firms. You know, maybe there's some symbiotic opportunities there. And how are you going about developing your network with like-minded, you know, complementary skilled type of professionals in the marketplace? Ask them about their goals. They should understand your goals as well. I mean, what is it that you're trying to accomplish as an organization? With your partnership, what will have happened in a given year that will cause you to both agree that the partnership you've struck has been successful? Ask the advisor, how many proposals per year based on your close ratio should we publish in order for you to close what you need in order to accomplish your goals out there? Let's talk about acquisition activities. What is it that you're doing out there? We'll explain to you how we go about becoming memorable to candidate employers out there, centers of influence, whatever it happens to be. But let's understand each other's acquisition activities. Understand each other's retention activities. What is it that you want to do specifically for plan sponsor, plan participants? I know your role with plan participants as a third-party administrator is somewhat limited, but you do get involved with them. Let that advisor know what that is. How do you distinguish yourself? And what I would encourage you to do is make sure that you can provide to your advisor some sort of written, memorable process about how you go about servicing your plans each year. And I certainly hope the advisor is able to provide to you their custom service model as well. So here's what I want you to consider next steps here. Pick those top advisors, those ones that you really rely upon each and every year, or the advisors you'd like to have a stronger relationship with. Set up that time to sit down with each other. I don't encourage you to do this over the phone unless it's prohibitive to getting together in person. So much more can be evolved, as you know, when you're sitting there looking at each other, taking notes on each other's comments. There's a lot more that can be accomplished by just getting answers to questions. I do want you to consider publishing a joint service model. The good folks at Aristopedia allowed me to speak to you a couple months ago, and I showed you an example of this. And in a moment, I'll give you access to my workshop, and you'll be able to see this as well. But when you have an advisor partner that's meeting with the decision maker in that early discovery type of profiling meeting and can show and leave behind a service model that combines both of their plan sponsor, plan participant initiatives, as well as all the great document and compliance work that you're doing throughout the year, it becomes overwhelming for the employer to say, wow, you guys are all doing a lot of work on my behalf on this plan throughout the year. I've seen nothing like this from any of my current advisors or third-party administration firms, and you really help them to understand the great values. So I want you to have that conversation with your top advisors publishing a joint service model. Maybe these top 3 or 4, you do a annual client appreciation event. This is probably something many of you are already doing out there. This fiduciary training is really catching on. I know you're working with lots of your advisors out there and speaking on your role within the fiduciary landscape. I think this is an awesome service touch that really is becoming very common amongst top advisors out there. And then perhaps a joint marketing prospecting type of event which you do for your maybe CPA firms, any other joint groups, property casualty, that you might already have inroads in, and you just want to take the strengths of both and bring them home and give them CE, whatever it happens to be. These are great things to do. Your advisor would sure appreciate having a partner dedicated to helping them to grow their business. You know, Joanne, I want to just pause here for a moment if we've had any questions come through to take them at this time.
I don't have any questions on the board yet, but again, for everyone in attendance, there's a little icon on your GoToWebinar dashboard that would allow you to just click on it and type a question. If you have one for Chris, we'd be happy to take it.
Thank you. I'll just continue. And
okay.
Remember, folks, you're going to get a link to today's webcast. You're also going to get the Word file that contains these categories and all the questions, nicely formatted. You can print off, share with your top advisors, as well as a copy of today's presentation. We've alluded to this a couple times, and I just do want to give you clarity on how I work with third-party administration firms. I've created an online 401k sales and service training program for financial advisors, those that are just launching. And it doesn't matter how long they've been in financial sales, they're new to 401k. And my work will absolutely steepen their learning curve. The second category of advisors are what I define as those that want to grow. These advisors, of course, have existing plans. The majority of these advisors acquired their plans predominantly because they answered the question correctly when it was posed to them by their plan sponsor personal friend. Hey, do you do 401k? And they said, of course I do. And then the third category of advisor that gets benefit out of my work are what I call the improve advisors. These are your $500 million AUM, got a team. They look at my work as standardized training for their team members that are prospect or client facing. So what I've done is I've brought this online for the convenience of the advisors. There's 36 videos. In the next several months, I'm going to be adding e-workbooks, even to make things easier for advisors. So what I do is I license my workshop and the entire program within exclusive territories. So my third-party administration partners that produce, say in Detroit, they can own the Detroit territory, meaning no other of their TPA partners in Detroit can give advisors access to this in-demand sales and service professional development. So in addition to the exclusive territory, with each license, I will work one-on-one with your advisors. I'll let you choose up to 3 of them in a year for me to work one-on-one with. And truly, it's a great way to recognize your top advisors out there. But otherwise, for the vast majority of advisors that are looking for that professional 401k sales and service training, again, video-based, e-workbook-based, your company logo, contact information's on every web page of the workshop. I work with my licensees on custom webcast productions. One that we do a lot this time of the year is on business plan development. Again, it's a way for my TPA licensees to really show uniqueness versus the majority of their competition out there that wants to serve these top advisors. We have all the promotional marketing materials. Being an online workshop, we can track activities so you'll know which advisors are taking advantage of the opportunity that you're giving to them with the access. And I'd like to, number one fault of marketing is never say it's low cost, But this is one of those programs where cost won't be the reason why you don't do it. Let me put it to you that way. So I want you all to take a closer look at my workshop. You have free access over the next 30 days or so. The URL address that I need you to log into is www.knowhow401k.biz. Remember the .biz extension. It'll ask for a user ID, and you can see the user ID there on the screen, Aristopedia at aristopedia.com. And the password is all lowercase, one word, grow sales, a wonderful universal term for us all out there. So I hope you take advantage of it. Take a look, and let me know if I can be of assistance to you, clarifying any point that I've talked about throughout this webcast today. And if you're interested in learning more about licensing the workshop as well, I'll be more than happy to talk to you, of course. Joanne, I'll see if there's any questions that have come through.
I don't have any questions at this time, but we would surely invite anyone to contact you, Chris, at the contact information on the screen. Or they can, of course, anyone can email us at sales@aristopedia.com. Contact us, and we have our phone number as well on our website. But we very much appreciate everyone attending today. We hope that this really provided some great information and some enthusiasm as you have, these blocks of time where you can actually get in there and start really working on your business development plan. As Chris has pointed out, there aren't very many slots during the year where you can, really, really dig in. So, this is a plan, a process, and we really hope that you enjoyed today's webcast and take advantage of it. Again, we'll be posting the recording as well as the slide presentation on our website at aristopedia.com under the tab webcast. So again, Chris, I don't see any questions on the board, so again, we'd just like to thank everybody for joining us today.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.